Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Overflow. In this video, we'll discuss another LeetCode problem, that is the find duplicate file in system. So this is a medium level problem, and we'll understand how we can solve this problem and what the question is asking us to say, and how we can optimize our solution as well. So before moving on, if you haven't subscribed to our channel Learn Overflow, make sure to subscribe to Learn Overflow for regular LeetCode videos like this. The question says we are given a list of paths of directory info, including the directory path and all the files with the contents in the directory. Okay, so this is the paths string array being given to us, and this contains the directory info and all the files with the content in the directory. Okay, and we need to return all the duplicate files in the system, in the file system, in terms of their paths. Okay, we need to return all the duplicate files in the system. Okay, so you may return the answer in any order, so it doesn't matter in which order you return, but in any order you can do. So all the duplicate files should be returned. Okay, further it explains what the duplicate file it means. A group of duplicate file consists of at least two files have the same content. Okay, what the duplicate file means, have the same content, the content should be same. Okay, that's the meaning they want to say. Further, it says like what's how it's given. A single directory info of string in the input list has the following format: root d1 d2 and then dn, followed by file1.txt, like f1 being the name, as a txt format, and then the content being given as f1 content. So this is the format given to us. Okay, so that basically means that there are n files: f1 txt, f2 txt, fn txt up to fn, and with the contents of f1, f1 content, f2 content, fn content. So they're the contents, okay, respectively in this directory. And after that it says the root. Okay, this is the directory name d1 d2, like this is the directory path. Okay, that's the format this is given. Now what we in which format we need to return? We need to return the format of directory path slash our file name. So file name.txt. We don't need to return the context, but our two files are same based on this context only. Okay, that's important. So let's take a small example and let's understand what this uh, is actually trying to say. Okay, let me just copy this one of the paths. Okay, let me copy one of the paths, and I'll show you how this actually works for us. So basically what we need to do, okay, first of all we need to separate this root. Like there are three four things, multiple things can be there, so we need to separate this root followed by this file name and content structure. So there can be multiple file name and content structure, right? So it can be there, and this is the path. Okay, now this is the first type of separation we need to do. Next, we got, this is the prefix or the directory path we got, and then in each of the text or each of the file name and uh, this content path, we need to check for this content. Okay, we need to check for this content. So how will we do that? We'll find the index of this first bracket, and then we find the content, being the content being the whatever the content is there. Fine. So that's what we do, and the before this index this is a file name. Okay, so what we will exactly do is like we will keep a map. Okay, we will keep a map of this content, like this abcd being the our file content. Like we need to, what we need to say, we need to see that the both things should have a uh, different same content. If they're having the same content, that means they are duplicate files, right? So that's what we need to check. So this is abcd being the content we got, and with that respect we will store something. We'll store this prefix, we'll store this path, so we'll store a value of path. Okay, for each abcd. So here's a, you can see here's a list you can contain. So it's a map abcd, where in this map this abcd is like the content of this, and the content is actually a key of our maps, and this key is mapped to a uh, like the link, you can say a list of it's mapped to a list. Okay, so this list contains what list contains this path slash, you need to add this slash because this is the slash not included. See, there's no slash included at last, and then followed by the file name. Okay, so if I say f1, so if, in this format you will keep on adding all the file names whose uh, like which contains in it. Fine. Like all the file names or all the like files having this exact content, we need to store them. So this is the idea, this is the way we should do. Now how you should understand how we should do this kind of split. So if you remember, there's something called a string dot split. Okay, string dot split is there, and using that we'll split our exact like the we'll split of this based on our requirements. Okay, so this will be the idea. It's not pretty much tough, but we will try our best to minimize the complexity. I mean minimize the runtime as well. Okay, complexity, if you see, complexity would more or less be around like if you see the order of n being the number of paths length. Okay, so there can be first thing you will check. So there can be two things you need to go through. Okay, one, if the number of path length is n, fine, and say within each path there are m number of text or m number of files. Okay, so it should be more or less m into m. That should be complexity. Let's not write this code, then we'll again discuss this complexity with that. Okay, we'll again discuss based on that. Let me just quickly write this code. I hope it's understandable how we are trying to do. We will split our each of the path in this format. The string dot split will help us with that. Followed by we will store the like the string this initial plus a slash as our prefix. That prefix should be added to each one of them, and we'll traverse through all this length. Okay, we'll traverse through all this length, and like one by one we'll traverse to all the file names, because once we have splitted them, it's like each of the different nodes. Okay, we'll traverse to one by one all of them, and then in each of them we'll try to find out the first bracket. Okay, the opening bracket. So once we find this opening bracket, what we'll do, we will go ahead with splitting them in two parts. One, the file name, another the content. Content should be leaving the last bracket as well. So that's the content. Okay, so file name and content, both things are being added, and then we simply go ahead with it. Fine. And now we'll take our content as our key, and our prefix or the path plus a slash plus our file name being our item being added to our list, followed by this particular values. Okay, so once this whole listing is done, we'll simply go ahead with going for each of the like the values, like each of the list, each of the value list. Okay, over here, and for each of the list we will see if the size is greater than 1. Okay, so if the size is 1, that means only one value is there, there's no duplicate. If the size is greater than 1, that's a duplicate. Fine. So if we find that, we'll keep add them in our final answer list. This is the final answer list, we'll add them. So this is the more or less the idea. Let me quickly write a code, and this will be helpful for you to understand how this code actually works. Okay, let's quickly do that. Okay, so here we see it's like a 37 ms, but I think it will just reduce if we just submit it again later. That's the all right. Just so let's understand what we did with this code. So we got a map for us. So this map is the mapping of our particular values or the particular file content with our list of strings. Okay, the list being the file paths and the file name. So that's the map we got, and then we got an like a two-day list, you see, and that's we name it a result. Okay, so this is the final answer that we will return. Okay, let's understand exactly what we did over here. So here we went ahead with uh, each of the paths. Okay, each of the paths, so path 0 to path dot length. So each of the paths we went ahead with, and what it did, we consider this path I as a string. That's a normal way. You just took it in another variable. Now what we try to do, we try to split them. We try to split the whole path based on the space. Why the space? If you just look carefully. So if you just look carefully over here, so this is the first path, say the path we got. So in that we are dividing it in terms of the space. In terms of the space, so it will once you do further split, it will split them in this format. Okay, there will be three strings. Okay, after that, once you split this for this first path only. Fine. Now, what we tried next to we took a variable called prefix. In that, this string array we just got, and in that we just got string 0 plus the slash. What it means? So what this str0 means? Str0 is the path of this, the initial directory path. Okay, that's the str0. What is the str1? Str1 is this. Okay, followed by str2 is this whole thing. Okay, and if there's str3, str4 or something like that, those will be there. Okay, so what it did, we initially formed our prefix that the this is a directory path, and with the directory path we need to add an additional slash. So we that did that. Okay, that's prefix equal to string 0 plus a slash. Fine. Now, what we're doing, we're traversing through, we took a variable j and j loop. So j equal to 1 till string dot length. Why 1? Because st0 is already something we have used. So we are just starting with the next one. So what is this one? One is, as I say, this variable. Okay, j is 1 is represent this part. So we took another variable nc, and in that str of j. Okay, so one by one we're taking them. Now, since str0 is done, str1, str2, str3, we'll go ahead with that. Now, what we simply took this particular variable length, okay, minus 1. What is this length minus 1? It will be like, this length will be the count, minus 1 will be the pointing at this index. Fine. So what we'll try to do, here we ran a while loop. Okay, here we ran a while loop, and in that while loop, we are trying to find out uh, if we got this starting index. Okay, if we got this particular value. So while t greater than equals to 0 and our caret t not equals this value, so we will keep on traversing backwards. So we traverse backward. So it doesn't matter whether you go from the start, whether you start from the end. It actually doesn't matter. But here in this case, we went ahead with a reverse case to just find out why is the index of this opening bracket. Fine. Next we got two variables. One is variable string and the variable content. Okay, sorry, a name and content. So name is what? Substring, like our this particular variable substring 0 till t. So if you know substring works. I have like two overridden methods. So one is substring of start index comma end index, another is substring of end index. Okay, so what we are using, we are passing two values. That means we are using substring of start index comma end index. So that is 0 till t. Remember this substring of start index comma end index, it is not included in the end index. Okay, the substring will return the value up to t minus 1. Okay, so that will what it will do. So we just made it because t is currently pointing at this opening bracket, right? So substring of t will do the end index. So it will return us the name will be something like this. The name variable is told this, and then in the content variable we did add a substring t plus 1. Okay, t plus 1. I mean, in this case we are ignoring t and then moving for the next values onwards till nc dot length minus 1. So nc dot length minus 1 is like, see, nc dot length is this value, and nc dot length minus 1 will be pointing at this closing bracket, right? And as I say, substring of open index and start index and end index, in that end index is not included. So it will return a value from t plus 1 till except the last bracket. Okay, so that's the content will be returned to us. And then what we're doing, we are taking a map. Okay, we are checking if our content, this particular content already has a array list or not. If it doesn't has an array list to it, a new array list to it, then we'll add array list, else with ignore. So that is compute if absent. Okay, it will do this if it's absent. Okay, so that's what it does. And then we just tried to add this. So map.get content. So get content return us this array list, and within that array list we added prefix plus name. So prefix already has our additional bracket with it plus our name. Okay, name being the file name we got over here. So that's the one. Now so using this, our map will get created. Fine, our map will be done, and once our map is done, we will use another loop of all the key sets, or you can directly take value sets, okay, or values as it says. So you can directly take the list of values and check. So what is the check for us? So we need to check if this particular list we get, so map.getKey, if the particular list we get out here has a size greater than 1 or not. If it's not greater than 1, I mean, if it's even equal to 1 will be the case, because less than 1, less than 1 is not possible, because if there's a content is there, that means it has a file name, or the path value is there, right? So equal to 1 will only be the case that we are ignoring. Why? If that's equal to 1, that means there's no repetition of the value, right? So we are checking for the repeated value, okay, the duplicate content, the duplicate file. So if that size is greater than 1, that means it has a duplicate files. We simply add them, like this our final resultant array, resultant list. In that we add whatever values we got. We just keep on adding them. Okay, we just keep on adding them, and then we, once done, we'll simply return this. So this is the whole idea. So if I just submit again, you'll see it might go down. Anyways, it doesn't matter as much. So we should discuss about the complexity on all. So complexity, as you can see, it's there. It has like, yes, see, it just went down 40. So I don't trust this online judge anymore, because it has like peculiar nature. Once it's going to 37 ms, 38 ms, and all of a sudden it's 14 ms. Anyways, just discuss the complexity. Complexity is what? Here we will see we are traversing through the whole list. uh, Path length. So path length, if it is paths of length n, so that will be order of n, and within that we are traversing through like all the files. So if the number of files in us given to us is like, the number of files given to us is say uh, m, so it's like n into m, so that's the complexity. And then here we are traversing through if you see, we have another loop is there, which is traversing to find the index of this first starting bracket, which is much lesser than the n or m, because it's just traversing over here. So we can kind of ignore it in our complexity. But if it's relatively high, then it might be entered in our complexity. So based on which case we are going on with, it can be a factor to us. And then rest is like map.get and map.put is something like order of 1, as you know. And list.add is something directly order of 1. That's how it works. So what is the thing we are doing over here? We are simply if you see, it's like order of n into m, being the length of it. And if you see what is the exact space complexity is like, this map is taking a huge space, right? So space complexity is exactly how much it's taking, how much values you are taking for each of the content. You are getting a list, okay? So for each of different content, okay, and the list has the values, like all the file names that are duplicate, that are there, right? So it's also, you can say, order of n into m, n being the number of paths, and for each of the paths there are a number of files are there. So n into m can be the order of this map, because that's the space it's taking, right? So more or less, it's like n into m being the time complexity, you can say. So that's it about this video, guys. I hope you can understand how we can solve this question easily. So it can be like multiple approaches can be taken over here. If you see, if you go ahead with the approach, something like here, over here, if you just try to like, you are just trying to find it manually, but you could have done this with uh, what we say, if we could have directly split it in the format of the starting bracket and ending brackets. Okay, so we could have used a regex expression to just split this, and we could have gotten the exact values we are looking for. Okay, so those kind of stuffs could have been done, and those might result in higher or lesser values. I don't know, but this is the approach that I prefer going ahead with. Okay, so this is how we do this. So thank you all for watching this video. If you have any doubts or any questions, make sure to comment them down in the comments as well. I'll be happy to help you out as well. Okay, and also share it video with all of your friends who are doing this question today. So thank you all for watching this video. Hope to see you soon in my next video as well. Thank you.